Hi, I'm Dani.
And I'm Si. Welcome to Business in the Brew, a podcast dedicated to all things business with the occasional cuppa.
We take a business story, theory, or something we just want to chat about and give it a dusting of our own special personality and sense of humour, combined with our experience and knowledge. We're both business graduates and have run our own businesses for many years. We can't wait for you to listen.
Hello.
Hello.
Right. Okay. This one today. I've got a topic for you that might interest you.
Okay. Well, everything you say interests me. You're a very interesting man.
Oh, thanks.
Hi.
I don't quite know how to take that. Right. This is whistleblowers.
I'll take it as a compliment personally, but you know.
Whistleblowers, heroes or villains? What do you think? Could be a very short episode.
I think they're heroes because they tend to bring to light something that shouldn't exist and people aren't talking about.
And that thing that normally gets brought to light is something
bad, unethical, wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to be not persuaded otherwise. I'm happy to be open to debate.
Well, have no fear. I'm not going to dissuade you
have
that
no
they
fear,
are...
the villain stories here.
Yeah. Okay. So, a simple question. Please answer this instinctively.
Okay.
Without thinking about it. I need to
That's
keep my mouth near the mic, don't I?
Please answer this instinctively without thinking about it. You literally just said the same sentence twice.
Yeah. You work for a large company.
Okay.
You discover that your employer is doing something seriously wrong, harming people, breaking the law, even defrauding customers. You report it. What happens next?
Are my employers aware? Who am I reporting it to be clear? My employers?
Well, let's say report it to a higher authority. Yeah?
Well, if my employers know I've reported it, I'm getting fired.
Through what?
If I'm reporting it and then my employers find out, I'm probably getting fired because I'm a loose cannon.
Okay. That's really what you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, you're not far off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it death?
So, in an ideal world, what I was expecting you to say was they investigate it and they fix it.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
Yeah?
I'm realistic.
Thank you for bringing it to their attention.
As if I thought that.
We did suspect something was going on. You're the first person to step forward.
We didn't notice we were killing people off.
Yeah.
Thank God you brought that up.
Yeah. Now, can you walk through this door into this empty lift shaft? Thank you.
I'm a bit realistic. I didn't expect that they'd welcome it with open arms and a solution.
Yes, quite. So that's the ideal world that's taken seriously. The actual world, you get fired and everyone hates you.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Right, so that is unfortunately, the second route is unfortunately closer to statistical reality. And that gap between what should happen and what does happen is what we're doing here today.
Is where the whistleblower lives.
Yes. Well, it's funny you should say that. Yeah. People who see something say something.
Sort it.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's the British Transport Police. See it, say it,
British
sort
Transport, they seem to have it sussed. And then frequently spend years wishing they hadn't. So imagine that underlying urge to say something to someone.
Because you know something is wrong.
Because you know it's going wrong. But then the other flip side of it that you did, and then you regret.
You lose your friends and your job and your livelihood.
I mean, it's pretty unbelievable. And yeah, it kind of makes you feel a bit low actually when you think you do the right thing.
Punished, essentially.
Yeah. And then look at what happens to people who do the right thing. Yeah, and it's moral clarity in theory and brutal reality in practice is kind of at the heart of every one of the whistleblowing stories that I've been looking into, and I've only looked at a few because, of course, there are lots of them. But
you've also got a full-time job.
Well, yeah, and we've only got 20 minutes. So I'll take you through a few key cases to explore the law as it stands, try and answer the question in the title: Are whistleblowers heroes or villains? Mm-hmm. And the case that changed everything, really, and actually brought it to the fore. There have been other cases, but it's a big one. Was the Mid Staffordshire NHS Trust? Mm-hmm. It's called the Staffordshire Care System. So between 2005 and 2008, an extraordinary number of patients were dying at the Stafford Hospital, and unnecessary deaths were caused by catastrophically poor standards of care. The Care Quality Commission eventually found mortality rates between 400 and 1,200 times higher than they should have been.
Oh, God.
And throughout the period, people within the trust have been raising concerns, nurses, doctors, healthcare assistants, and the institution's response was not to investigate, it was to manage the complainants.
So strictly speaking, a whistleblower is actually the last straw.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they're the only person who's ever mentioned it.
Yeah, no
There's
one's
going to have
listening
been
to
everyone
me.
in
Last
between.
straw is I've got to tell someone
Yeah.
else. Yeah. So, so it was managing the complainants, right, to conduct disciplinary procedures against them.
For having an opinion.
To question their motivations to make their working lives miserable until they left.
A bit like Nazi Germany.
And nobody was acting on the actual concerns about patient deaths. And that was nobody until it became impossible to ignore. The Francis inquiry that was set up eventually examined what happened at Mid Staffs and found a culture, and this phrase appears in whistleblowing case after case, a toxic culture of fear where whistleblowers were ignored or victimised, where speaking up was professionally dangerous. You think about that? Professionally
I
dangerous.
100% believe it.
Yeah. Silence was the rational career choice. This wasn't unique to Mid Staffs. The same phrase appeared in the investigation into maternity services at Shrewsbury and Telford, in the inquiry into Lucy Letby at the Countess of Chester Hospital. Senior doctors raised concerns about her that were dismissed, and the doctors themselves referred for psychological counselling. The now retired ombudsman, Sir Robert Berrens, reflecting on that case, said more babies would have been harmed unless systemic changes were made to end what he called the defensive leadership that makes speaking up so dangerous. And that, from his comment in The Guardian, time and time again, we've seen senior managers and boards are more interested in preserving the reputation of their organisation rather than dealing with patient safety issues. And this thing about preservation of reputation, where it's only a matter of time before that reputation is brought into question.
You're almost making it worse. If you'd have dealt with it at the beginning, someone could have gone, do you know what? They saw a problem, they dealt with the problem.
Absolutely.
Covering it up makes your reputation 100 times more damaged.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah. So the short-termism, I've only got a couple of years left till I retire, till I pick up my big fat pension. I'm just not going to ruffle any feathers,
Yeah, don't worry about the dead people.
Yeah. And it kind of makes you think. The question that kind of came to mind when I was writing this up was is there actual legal protection for whistleblowers?
I don't know.
Well, there is in theory.
Yeah.
The Public Interest Disclosure Act. It's been on the statute book since 1998. It's supposed to give legal protection to workers who make what's called a protected disclosure, reporting illegal activity, health and safety risks, financial fraud, miscarriages of justice, or cover-ups of any of the above. If you're dismissed for blowing the whistle on any of these things, you can bring a claim for automatic, unfair dismissal with no cap on the compensation. Oh, okay, that sounds fair, doesn't it?
Yes, but...
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so you are protected, but why does it keep going wrong?
You'd have to want to follow it through, have not been intimidated, not been mentally and physically beaten down by the entire process. Yeah. Because suing an employer is not an easy process.
No, well, it depends for what, though, doesn't it?
Well, if you're suing them for compensation for unfair dismissal, it's not an easy process.
No, it's
emotionally,
not.
It's exhausting.
You've got to show that. A constructive dismissal, for example, you have to show that there was a process leading to that. But the comment I made before about making people's working lives miserable until they left.
Yeah, can you imagine?
I've known several people who've had that, and that wasn't because they were whistleblowing. It's because management decided that they had a different trajectory, and they saw certain people weren't actually going to fit into it. That's different to whistleblowing.
Similar experiences,
constructive side,
in my corporate career.
Yes. Yeah. So why does it keep going wrong? It's because the law has some significant gaps.
Shocking.
Yeah, and because employers
have blind spots.
Yes, the employers have become quite sophisticated at navigating around these gaps. The central problem is causation. So to win a whistleblowing case, You have to prove that your protected disclosure was the principal reason for any detriment or dismissal.
Which is so hard to do when you
There you
can
go.
fake
So you're
performance reports.
Caught in a trap. Yeah. And employers rarely say, even internally, we fired this person because they blew the whistle.
Of course they don't.
Of course they don't, exactly.
That's not what you wrote down the exit paperwork.
Instead, they find conduct issues. They cite communication style. They say the working relationship broke down.
You would have had to have a spotless record to the point of whistleblowing
Absolutely.
in order to feel safe doing that.
Which, after a whistleblowing episode, it usually has. You know,
True.
I mean, you know, where do you stick with that, or where do you end up with that? They say that it usually has. The courts have found on more than one occasion that an employer can dismiss a whistleblower for the breakdown in relationship that follows their disclosure, rather than disclosure itself.
That's just disgusting.
Yeah, effectively, you blew the whistle correctly, but the fallout from doing so it correctly
Can't be your own fault. You made your bed last night.
Is itself a valid reason to fire you? You just.
Yeah, but that breakdown wouldn't be a two-way street necessarily. Just because you think they're doing something illegal doesn't mean you start acting like a complete tool at work. Yeah. It'll be them that are alienating you.
Yeah. And it's often people who have spotless records. It's people who are reliable. It's people who are conscientious.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's pretty much a loophole you could drive a bus through. and it's been deployed repeatedly. Dr. Chris Day was a junior doctor who raised patient safety concerns about understaffing in an intensive care unit at a hospital in London. I'll not disclose the name of it. In 2014, he was removed from his training post. His training number, the number you need to progress through your medical career, was taken away. He'd spent years working as a locum doctor rather than consultant. He should by now have been. His case revealed another gap in the law. The body responsible for his training said the whistleblowing protections in law simply didn't apply to them because they weren't his direct employer. So all it needs is the little wink. You know, this guy's a rotten egg.
Just because he's got a moral opinion?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. So even when there's a law, it doesn't always protect you. Yeah.
Lovely. I feel so safe now. Thank God I work for myself.
Well, exactly.
Whistleblower myself.
Yeah. But it's big organisations.
Yes.
It's very rare.
It's the
small
organisation.
Yeah,
it's not your local cafe.
They don't have the layers.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's the layers. It's this deflecting the bullshit downwards.
Yes.
Sparing the upper management. Yeah.
So they can remain clean.
Inconvenience. Yeah.
The inconvenience of an issue.
Yeah. Smith, deal with this. I don't want to hear another word. You know, you can just imagine it. Yeah. Yeah.
At least it wasn't with an accent.
And there are also the cases that complicate the hero narrative entirely, because not every whistleblower is straightforwardly heroic. Not every disclosure is straightforward in the public interest. Edward Snowden, for example, he revealed mass surveillance in the US and British governments. And depending on your politics, he's either a courageous defender of civil liberties or a dangerous traitor who compromised national security. It's like what's the difference between a freedom fighter and a terrorist? Well, it kind of depends which side you're on, doesn't it?
Yeah, there are. I mean, there's a grey area everywhere, isn't there?
Yeah, Julian Assange published material that exposed genuine war crimes that would also put individual lives at risk. At the same time, closer to home, the LuxLeaks case involved a PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, employee called Raphael Halle, who leaked documents revealing a vast network of corporate tax avoidance schemes based in Luxembourg. He was prosecuted for it. The European Court of Human Rights eventually ruled in his favour, but not before years of legal proceedings that would deter almost anyone from following the same...
And that man would not have worked in the meantime.
Whatever he's doing since, I haven't actually checked. So sometimes the whistleblower crosses a line, only sometimes though, and distinguishing genuine public interest from personal grievance or from recklessness is genuinely difficult. A charity project formerly known as Public Concern at Work has been supporting whistleblowers and lobbying for legal reform since the mid-90s, and they make an important point. The vast number of people who blow whistles are not idealists or crusaders. They're ordinary workers who simply cannot reconcile what they're seeing with their own conscience. A nurse who sees patients being harmed and can't stay silent. A finance worker who notices fraud and reports it. District nurse, as in one documented case, who raised concerns about dangerous staffing levels and was sacked. winning £460,000 at an employment tribunal, but only after years of legal battle and personal cost.
The emotional toll that would have taken, the mental.
Yeah. So you asked me on the last episode, what would I do to fix something? So what do you think you'd do to fix this? Go on now, quick.
Stop it. The trouble is, human nature is to conform. We are by nature a herd animal, and we want to be part of that herd. We want to swim the same direction as the rest of the salmon. I'm mixing a lot of animal metaphors here.
Yeah, keep going.
And a whistleblower is someone who turns against that flow of traffic or the herd or whatever else and tries to stand out. And that in and of itself is a frightening prospect psychologically for any human being. So I think there is a degree
against the flow
of bravery to it.
Yeah.
I agree there are situations in which people do it for their own gain. You know, like when you've got a couple fighting over custody or whatever, and one's releasing, I don't know, naked photos of the other one or something, just to undermine their credibility.
Yeah.
So I get that there are two sides to every story.
Yeah.
I don't think you can fix it unless there's some magical, beautiful farm somewhere where all whistleblowers go to live happy, content lives away from the burden of society. There you go. I've just built a whistleblowing
fantasy land then.
cult. Yeah.
Wow. Well,
I don't know what the solution is.
Well, that sounds quite attractive. I might go out of my way to blow a whistle somewhere. Yeah. So the fixing it. Well, that's not going to fix it, is it, Danielle? Come on.
No, but I don't actually think there is a solution.
No, there is. Yeah, reform has to be. I don't mean obviously.
Oh my God! I actually thought you meant reform.
Sorry, no, not reform. Reform.
Yeah, change.
Reform the whole process. Protect the aforementioned body, and others have been arguing for years for three things. Firstly, an independent statutory commissioner, which is a dedicated body specifically empowered to investigate whistleblowing disclosures rather than leaving whistleblowers to navigate employment tribunals alone. Secondly, a public interest defence for national security disclosures. So drawing lines between them so that people who reveal genuine state wrongdoing aren't automatically criminalised. And third, stronger causation standards so employers can't sack whistleblowers under the cover of pretextual reasons.
I feel like...
I mean, there are three levels there.
I do, but I feel like they're all very nice to say, but in reality, people will still find loopholes. Yeah. These people will still be victimised. If they are not fired, their lives will be so awful within that role, they will choose to leave, which is worse.
Yeah.
You'd have to be a stubborn sod to sit there through bullying and marginalisation or whatever else. I think this would be great. I think this is another level of protection that is needed, but I think...
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I don't think this is the solution. No. I don't think there is a solution.
Well, there is a further.
Oh, don't do bad stuff and then no one can whistleblow. That's another solution.
Don't do bad stuff and then no one can whistleblow.
Yeah, so there's no whistleblowers. There's no bad stuff. There's no whistleblowers.
Don't do bad stuff. Well, hang on. A lot of this is health related. Hippocratic oath and all that. That seems to go out the window with some of these things.
Well, yes.
All right, I know we've talked about financial and legal, but anyway, a cultural shift is also needed. Law itself can create incentives, but it can't create a culture where a nurse who speaks up about patient deaths is thanked rather than disciplined, or where a junior doctor who raises safety concerns isn't quietly excluded from the career path they've spent a long time pursuing. Yeah, but that shift has to come from the inside of organisations. So it starts with leadership, and that's really, really where it is. So leadership, you often hear about boards being pale, male, stale,
Yes.
Yeah. At the ends of their careers, maybe in some cases, that we've had to deal with this before, we don't want to have to deal with it again, or, will this ever go away? Just ignore it and not actually reshape. But, leadership that can change policy, and actually hearing bad news is better than not hearing at all and turning a deaf ear. Yeah,
if you've got that long-term view like we talked about earlier in the episode about, actually, if I deal with this problem now...
You've got bad news, you've got an opportunity to fix it, put it right so it doesn't happen again.
And be the hero yourself. Yeah.
Brilliant. There's a board that takes responsibility. corporate social
Unless the
responsibility.
board were the people that were pushing the bad behaviour in the first place for cost or
absolutely.
efficiencies, whatever it is.
So, heroes or villains?
No, that's so grey.
No, I'm not throwing...
Generally, I think they're heroes.
The honest truth of that comment there was actually, it was rhetorical. I wasn't expecting you to answer. But I
do genuinely believe they are slightly heroic.
Yeah, that's my view on it. It's occasionally complicated.
Yes. Almost
always, regardless of the moral clarity of what they did, paying a price that should embarrass everyone. And a final thought, with every case that I've kind of put in there today, Mid Staffs, Chris Day, Shrewsbury and Telford, a nurse in County Durham, there was a moment where one person looked at what was happening and thought, I can't stay silent about this. Did the hardest thing imaginable, which is to say out loud in an organisation that didn't want to hear it, and paying a price. Yeah, but they still come forward. Yeah. New ones every year in every sector at every level.
Knowing what the consequences are going to be.
Yeah, which tells you something pretty wonderful about human beings when you think about it. Even when the rational calculation says stay quiet, something... Yeah,
that pros and cons list is very unfairly weighted.
Yeah. And it's the living a life where I am denying other people
your
something.
Values, your morals.
Or I'm giving up my own morals, So just to kind of cut it to the end, the system definitely needs fixing. The law needs strengthening. Whilst we're waiting for that, there'll always be someone who can't quite bring themselves to look the other way. And that's what keeps the whole thing from falling apart, I think.
You mean society as a whole?
No, the whole thing. No, not society.
What? I was going for a big ending.
Oh, that's a loss anyway.
We've written that off. We're not worried about
that. Yeah. So, we'll raise our brew to the heroes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who may be slightly villainous at times, but mostly heroic.
Mostly heroic. Yeah.
80% heroic.
Great.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for supporting us by downloading and listening to this episode.
And a massive thank you also to Dani, Emily, Nat and Lewis and the BTD Studios for all your expertise in bringing our podcasting dream to reality.
We'd love it if you commented on this episode, as we'd really like to know what you think and what you might like us to cover in future episodes.
And we'll see you on the next one.